So this is going to be a good one today. We're just booting up the visuals for people that are on webinar, and if you're checking this out on YouTube afterwards, then that's awesome. Today we're talking about making money and retirement secrets, right? Like, how do you make money? It's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to be talking a lot about how I made money in my career coming up. You might think, hey, retirement secrets with making money. What that might refer to is how to make more money using money. But that's actually the part where I talk about growing money. What I'm going to talk about today is how to get more dinero coming into your bank accounts, how to make more money. Because the reality is, the more money we make, the more freedom we have, right? It's if you're hearing anything else other than that, if you make $1 million a year, yeah, you might have some extra income tax to pay, but I'd rather pay that than have $10,000 a year in income. Life is a lot more difficult, and it gives you a lot more options, a lot more security, a lot more protection, a lot more ability to grow. You can retire early, you can change jobs, you can start a business, so much stuff you can do. I started my career in the bank branches as a teller, and now I run a company that does discretionary portfolio management, life insurance, and mortgage brokering. So, um, super excited to tell this. I'm going to use a lot of examples that have helped me along the way, and then also share some examples from what I've seen with other people in their careers. And so, hopefully, you'll find this helpful. And so, what we do is comprehensive wealth advisory. I'm going to get through this part quickly. And this is the reason that we talk about this, because we're talking about employee ownership plans, deferred profit sharing, things like that that help you bring in more money without working. But that's really where it comes in. And then there's just sometimes we just got to have an honest talk about what do we do with our job. And so we talk about retirement planning and even planning for during their lifestyle. We help people figure out what their next step should be because that is in alignment with who they are as a person. Because you want to be happy at the end of the day. So disclaimer, forward-looking statements can't guarantee that they're going to come true. This is not recommended as financial advice. Always seek the help of a professional prior to making any decisions. We do not provide tax or legal advice. And as we're talking about making money, we can't guarantee that anything will come true in terms of actually making that money. That is up to you. So I'm licensed in at TKD Wealth Management Inc. as the portfolio manager, TKD Wealth Insurance Inc. as life insurance advisor, and TKD Wealth Mortgages Inc. license 13359 as the mortgage broker. So now we've got that out of the way. We're going to be talking about this. So this is making money is one of the things about in the financial flywheel, and what I want to do is talk about that financial flywheel for a minute so that you understand how this fits into to the wealth creation scenario. How do you take money? How do you get more money? How do you grow that money? And so if you're on this, you're listening to this, I want you to think about one thing as you're going through it that you can take away. Look for that one big takeaway. And I want you to think about how you can implement that in your life to start improving on things, because it's not about perfection, it's just about improvement. And that's what we're trying to achieve, because improvement continuously over time creates huge things. And I'm so grateful for the continuous improvement that I put into myself to create what I've created today. And so the goal of today is to look at how people increase their pay. And in the financial flywheel, what we're looking at is, just to reiterate, a flywheel is a really heavy wheel that if you roll it, it has momentum and it's going to keep rolling until something stops it. But if you're on a bicycle rolling uphill, and for those of you seeing this visually, there is a very heavy metal wheel that is attached to a series of gears. And if you're riding your bicycle uphill and you stop pedaling, it's going to slow pretty quick. But if you have this wheel inside, this very heavy metal wheel that's spinning, creating this motion of momentum, then it's going to carry you farther up that hill, even if you stop or slow down when it comes to pedaling. So you're going to put energy into starting to spin this wheel in the beginning. You're building up most stored energy and momentum. And then as you stop putting energy into it, maybe when things get tough, or if you experience a job loss, if you do something like that, it's going to help you get over those moments. And that's really what we're trying to achieve here. When it comes to the financial flywheel, there's a couple of different aspects of it. The first step, which we're talking about today, that we really need to dive in, is making money. The more money you make, the easier life becomes. Okay, people say, oh, more money, more problems. They're good problems to have. You can pay for your kids to go to better schools. You can pay for extracurricular activities, tutoring. You can do better healthcare for yourself. You can enjoy trips and life experiences for yourself, your spouse, your family, extended family. You can donate to charities. Making money is fun. It's great, and you should be able to enjoy it. Once you're making money, you need to keep the money that you make or be very intentional with how you're spending it. And we'll get into that at some point too. But then once you're keeping money, now that you have this nest egg of cash, inflation is slowly eating away at it. And so you need to grow that money faster than inflation. That whole keep it under your mattress thing is slowly making it worth less money. You need to stay active in promoting and growing your cash, and it has to grow faster than the rate of inflation. If you're doing that at the same time, you need to be thinking about protecting. You need to think bigger than just yourself. What happens if you pass away? What happens if you get disabled? What happens if you get a critical illness? What are the impacts on that? What if you get sued? What if you get a job loss? All these things. At the same time, you're making, keeping, and growing money. You need to overlay this with protecting money. It's incredibly important. And we're going to get into that, but not in much detail today. So think about this. If you have this financial flywheel that's going on and you put in this momentum today, and then all of a sudden, say you take your feet off the make money part, you can relax in retirement. That's the momentum of it going into retirement as financial freedom. Say you want financial freedom earlier, we're going to build that for you. We're going to help you do that. So you're taking your wealth today, whether it's $1 in your pocket or it's $100 million in your accounts, you're going to take wealth. We're going to go through the financial flywheel again and again and again. And we're looking at all the areas. You can look at them individually, you can look at them sequentially, or you can look at them all at the same time. But the thing to do, what we're trying to do is to increase our wealth. We're expanding it slowly, time and time again, until we hit financial freedom. Financial freedom can be different. It's whatever it means for you. But inside each of these, the make money, we're looking at our skills, our job performance, our networking, our the job itself. Keep money, how much you keep, taking how much you keep of the money that you make. There's strategies there. Then once you have cash, you need to grow it somehow, and then at the same time we're protecting it. So, and it's a whole process you just go through again and again and again. We should be thinking about all four. There's only four. You should be thinking about them all the time. It's really important. Make money. So let's talk about how we make money. Usually for most people, it's through a job. Most Canadians are employed and they make money. They trade their time for money. That's awesome. And as I explained to my kids, there's nothing wrong with people who make minimum wage, and that's okay. But if you want to make more per hour, then that's okay too. And what do you want? And we looked at it. We said, well, if you're going to go to work for 40 hours a week, what would you rather have? Would you rather get paid minimum wage, which is around $15 an hour? Or would you rather get paid $900 an hour? Right? It seems pretty obvious. What's the impact of that at $15 an hour if you work for 40 hours a week versus someone who makes $900 an hour? Let's take a look at very high-end lawyers making $900 an hour. You may say, that's crazy. Who makes $900 an hour? They do. Certain doctors, they make $900 an hour. Professionals make a lot of money. It takes a lot of money. So giving your kids an education might be something you want to give them the opportunity to do if they can find the drive to do that, because it's a competitive field. Why? Because they make $900 an hour. That's a great thing. I would love for everybody I know to make $900 an hour, but are people willing to put in the work to improve their skills and performance? Are they going to network and get into the jobs so they get the pay and do what they have to do? It's aggressive. We have to work hard. So I'm not going to lie about it. It does take a lot of work to get there. But maybe you're not going to get to $900 and you're going to start over in your career if you're in an unrelated field. But maybe there's something else you can do. What if you can start, no matter the job that you're in, what if you can improve your skills, right? I started my career, and first thing I needed to do was in the bank branch when I went from a teller to a sales rep in the branch, a financial services rep. Really, it's a sales role. But in order for me to sell mutual funds, I had to become mutual fund licensed. And I had two options. I had the IFIC course and I had the Canadian Securities course. The IFIC course was paid for by the bank, or reimbursed anyways, and that gave you the minimum requirements in order to get mutual fund licensed. The Canadian Securities course is more expensive, it's more work, and they would only pay for the cost of the IFIC if I was going to do it. And so I said, well, okay, what's the difference? The Canadian Securities course essentially covers more information. And I said, well, I can easily get licensed. I can do the minimum. I could get licensed. I could start selling. Or if by having more information at my disposal, because I went through a harder course that has more information in it, would I be better off selling mutual funds? Yes, I would. Would I look more employable? Yes, I would. Would I look more desirable from an employer standpoint because I went above and beyond the minimum requirements? Yes, I would. And it paid off, right? As a result, I took the Canadian Securities course. I had better performance in general before people who had just had the IFIC course. I also had to practice my sales skills, but it gave me the ability to understand the markets better. I was having better quality conversations with people about their retirement savings and the markets and mutual funds than I was if I was just trained on the less cumbersome course. So fast forward that, I took another course, started going through financial planning and all these other things, course after course after course. It never stopped for me. And it still doesn't stop to this day. I'm still continuing. One of it is because it's a requirement for continuing education with some of the regulators. But two, I would do it anyways because I'm constantly learning. Even outside of regulatory continuing education requirements, I'm still learning, reading, trying to figure out how to do my job better. How can I'm constantly reading about the markets, learning about the markets. Like those are things you can never stop learning. You go deeper, deeper, deeper all the time. And so improving your skills leads to better performance. Better performance would naturally lead to, even if you don't increase your salary, would increase to a better bonus if you're, especially if you're in a performance position where they're grading you in performance. So what this means is that I got higher bonuses because I was selling more in the branches, because I was having better conversations that people like dealing with me and referred other people to me because I had improved my skills, and therefore I got a better bonus, right? I also was able to apply for other positions that required the Canadian Securities course. A lot of them that I wanted to go to required that course. They didn't require the IFIC. That was not good enough for upward mobility. So this course I took was harder, and then it enabled me to apply upward more for different positions and more positions. And when I did better, I had, because I was performing well in my job, it also empowered me to apply for jobs and have all these success stories that I had, because I was like, well, how did you overcome this situation? How do you overcome this situation? I'm like, great, right? Those are all the things that my skills and performance led me to do. So I could apply outwards and increase my income. I think I started in the branch at 32,000 a year. And coming out of school, I was like, great, I have an education and university education, and it's great. And 32,000 a year. I'm like, this is pretty horrible. I didn't think it was great for the amount of work that I had gone through for the last 4 years. And I'm still taking courses. I'm like, I gotta do this again. You kidding me? Anyways, so a lot of it is just about how do I really generate money? Because if I'm going to get paid a lot more, I need to generate money for the company that I work for. And my clients right now are who I need to generate money for. And as a result, when I do well with them, they refer people, and then I make more money, which is a reflection of my skill set and my performance at work. So going from there to it's just incredibly beneficial. So if you're always improving your skills, which I think you should probably at least almost always be enrolled in some sort of course to improve your skill set at work. Let's talk about networking. When I was looking for jobs, and even now, actually, what I'll do is I'll give you a better example. I got laid off from TD. I was working on the trading floor. This was after the credit crisis, and they laid off about 50 people across the trade floor, and I happened to be one of them. And I've been at the bank almost 10 years, and you can see the boom and bust, the expansion and contraction inside of the capital markets, and that happens. And while it was upsetting and a bruise to my ego, I knew I wasn't going to be out of work very long. And so I got laid off. And 2 hours later on the train ride home, I had someone calling me asking me if I wanted a job. And what was that? That was due to networking. It's also due to my skills and performance that I was recognized for on my job, and my clients recognized it, and everybody around me recognized it. And that's why I got a job offer on the way home. They knew they knew someone was looking for a position, and they thought of me. Great. This is how these things work. I don't charge my earphones, my headphones, and then I have to charge them while I'm in the middle of a presentation. So this is what's happening. But so having that was a big comfort. And so I go home and I'm at dinner, and my wife didn't actually realize that I was home just a little bit early. And so we were sitting at the dinner table. I'm like, hey, honey, I got laid off today. She's like, oh, yeah. Like totally, completely missed it. And I was like, no, really, I got laid off. Like, I'm not going to work tomorrow. And then it hit her for a second. It was kind of funny. And all of a sudden, all I could see the emotions running through her. And so I was like, oh, well, I wanted to make sure that she wasn't scared, because even though I was upset, I'm like, you know what? I will figure this out. I always do. I always figure it out. And it's a negative situation, but there's always a positive to it. Here's some things that had happened, right? Honey, I got laid off. Oh, crap. So don't worry. They gave me severance. We're okay for a while. Uh, and on the way home, I got a job offer. So that speaks highly of my skills, performance, and my ability to network. And I didn't realize the value of that network until that moment when I had actually been laid off. And so that was incredibly important. And from there, I went on. They set me up with this career counselor, and they're like, just tell people you're taking some time. Just you're going to evaluate the market. Just take some time. I'm like, no way. I'm hot in people's minds. My clients all just got told I got let go, and now they're calling me. I want to talk to as many people as I can immediately. I'm going to go on all the interviews. I'm going to apply for everywhere. I'm going to do everything today, the day after. I didn't take a minute off. And so what I did is immediately start networking. Oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, hey, how you doing? Hey, can we grab a coffee? Can we grab a coffee? I booked up my whole schedule. I did everything I could. And so networking on a regular basis. And prior to that, the reason that that was a good thing is because when I was working in the job, I would get together for coffee with people. Hey, let's just chat. And that built up my network, which then built up my security blanket, right? Because people know me, they like me. I would help them out. They could help me out if we're like, oh, I need this, I need this. We could troubleshoot and ideas, and it's just part of networking. So I'd recommend getting together at least once a month minimum with someone from the industry, and not to sell yourself, just connect and let them know you're here. The whole point of networking is, hey, how are you doing? Cool. Let me learn about you. What do you need? What problems do you have? Oh, okay, cool. Right? They're probably going to ask about you, and you can share. And it can be about work, family. Don't bitch and complain, but share, and that's okay. And then you get to know people, and then you find out who you like to work with, and then you stay in contact with them. And then when there's a problem that comes up, you can bounce ideas off of it. And that's the ability for you to move faster because you have someone to work with. So when that happens, you're building up this network of people who know you very well. They know what's going on in your life. They know you. They know what your qualities. You're telling them success stories. You're telling them failures along the way and how you're dealing with it. So they're getting a feel for you before you even do it. If they ever become in a position to hire someone, guess what? They know you, and they're going to be asking for you. So you're going to have an opportunity to leverage that at some point. Or maybe the roles will be reversed where you're hiring someone, and now all these people that you networked with and you can call on them when you need an employee because you know that they're solid. And so that's a fantastic thing. So aim maybe once every 2 weeks. Every other week, book it in your calendar. And then in the weeks that you're not there, meeting with someone, call someone. Hey, can we meet next Friday? Cool. Grab a coffee and hook up. Just like not hook up, but I mean like get together, um, and do that. So network all the time, right? Skills, performance, networking. And the last thing is pay raises. If you have skills and you are performing and you are well networked, you will be able to say, hey, you know what? I'm doing this for you. Can I have a pay raise? I'm justifying it because I saved you this much money, because I made you this much money, because I'm handling it. Your clients are raving about the service that we are giving them because of me. If you ever get yourself in a position where your clients love you so much that no matter where you go, they're coming with you, then that is a massively, massively powerful position to be in. And so we're going to think about that. That gives you leverage and power, and they will recognize that. And sometimes it'll come push to shove and you call their bluff and they'll call your bluff and you'll see who wins that argument, right? They'll try and sue. But the reality is clients are welcome to go where they want. So if you're not poaching them and you're just saying, hey, I do this, and you have clients follow you, then like, again, I don't provide tax or legal advice, but clients will move sometimes when they have a rep that they really like, especially if you're going to a superior product, a company that offers a better product, a better system, a better way of doing things. And the last part inside of pay raises that I want to talk about is loyalty to your company versus being willing to move to a new company. So people say, well, I have a pension. I don't want to leave it because of my pension. I'm actually, if you have a defined benefit pension plan where it gives you the amount of money that you make in retirement, I'm actually against them. And let me explain why. People are like security. Yes, security is there. They will guarantee it, assuming the company can guarantee it. But what you need to do is consider that all the money you pay into it, when you die, your spouse might get some, they might get a continuation. And then when they die, they might get a small amount of lump sum or nothing. Or maybe your pension is that you don't have a spouse or survivorship clause in it and they get nothing. And so you need to think from an estate perspective. If you had taken this cash yourself and done a good job investing it, not making a lot of money, but doing a diligent, prudent job of investing it, what would that mean? And what it would mean is that you would have your income. It also means that if you pass away, you have something to give to your family, and all that money, rather than staying in the pension plan, now goes to your estate and your people who are around you, your legacy, the people that you're providing for. And so if you're of that mindset where you want to make sure that everyone's secure, I'm against a defined benefit pension plan. I don't like them. I prefer defined contribution pension plans where the employer is also kicking in a percentage. You have more flexibility. If you need more cash or less cash, or you want to deregister faster, you can do that for tax purposes, simplifying your estate. Okay, so that may be one reason that someone's staying at a firm that they're at. Now, if you're not staying there, you don't have those incentives, consider this. A lot of HR policies will say you're only allowed to increase your pay by 2% per year as an employee because that's just how our HR policy is. That's our HR policy. And it's kind of crap because if they hire someone from outside, they might just pay them more than you to do the same job. And so if you go to another firm and you do the same job somewhere else, they might be willing to pay you $5, $10, $20,000 more. And here's the other flip side of it. If a company needs to cut costs, they will let you go. There may be a cost for that, but they will let you go. So they may talk about loyalty, but they will do what's in their best interest. And so when I'm managing investments for people, people have to remember that we own companies and portfolios. Companies are efficient economic engines, and they will get rid of people, they will cut costs, they will do what they can to increase revenue so that their net bottom line profit is increasing. And if that's at the expense of your salary, they will do that. So you need to make sure that you're thinking about yourself in a lot of cases. And the reason I do that is because if you're only going to sit there for 2% more per year when you could be getting $5, $10, $20,000 more for something else, then consider moving. Talk with your family, see if it's right. Yes, it's scary, but what does $20,000 a year for the next 5 years mean for you? 100 grand more? 5 years? It's a big difference, right? What are the risks involved? Look at it, weigh out the options, but consider it. So skills, and if you go to that new job, you might be worth it. So you're just realizing your actual market value. The problem is people look for stocks that are not being recognized by the market. They don't see them in a way that they're maximizing their market value. Just like yourself, maximize your market value. Increase your skills all the time. Do well at work, network, ask for the pay raise if you deserve it, and consider mobility to another employer if that's what it is, or a new role even. But sometimes they hamstring you because like, well, if you're getting hired on for this role, this is the most that we're going to pay you. So you know what? Maybe consider leaving for another employer. And I'm not just saying quit, but you need to do some planning. Some other things you need to do. There's a lot you need to do if you are going to go to another employer or start a business. You need to take out big lines of credit beforehand in case something happens. You are prepared and you can handle it. Short-term pain, long-term gain. That's what we're going for. If you know with absolute certainty that you were worth more and you can factually, empirically, database back it up and go to other people, you can look for other jobs, right? You can start asking around of conversations. You got to be careful with this. That doesn't get back to your employer. But if you've backed yourself up and you have the data and evidence, consider it. Lastly, like I said, people don't act because staying the same is easier. All these things I'm talking about. You know what is easier if I don't take the course? It's not going to cost me any money to not take the course. Maybe I'll go spend it on Starbucks. I'll get that extra banana bread that I love so much. You know what? Maybe I'll just stay where I'm at because I'm tired. I'm tired. Stop being tired, start acting, right? They don't want to upset their current company or manager. Well, yeah, no one wants to upset them. Of course, they're losing, but if they were paying you what you're worth, you wouldn't have to go somewhere else. That's their fault. And they're blaming you, and that's not fair. So don't put up with that. Make sure you get what you deserve. If you're worth it, get it. Go get paid. Straight up. Ask for it. People are too scared, too worried about feelings and not doing what they need to do for themselves. And here's the next line. People work harder for other people than they do themselves. Are you willing to go out and get that extra little bit because you want recognition and you're going to go work an extra couple hours for your employer, but you won't put in a couple extra hours to put your resume out to competitors? Right? Would you stay an extra hour after work to get something really important done, but you won't go apply for jobs somewhere else? Or would you put in that extra hour a night to get your course done so that now you have an extra accreditation? All these things. How hard are you willing to work on yourself for yourself so you can make more money? More money you make, the more money it gives you an opportunity to keep. Then you can grow that money, giving you more financial freedom, more protection, give you the things in life you want, better lives for yourself, your spouse, and your children. That's how this impacts it. So stop being tired, start acting. Go. Right? Your money is just as important as managing someone else's money. You need to take care of yourself. And you need to do what's right. Because when you do what's right and you do everything that you can, you're improving your skills, your performance, your networking, your job, you're actually helping your employer because you're rocking it at work and they're benefiting from that. Then you benefit because you get paid and everyone around you benefits because they get paid. And if you're investing with me, now you can give me more money to help grow your money. That gives you a better retirement and I get paid more. So that's called conflicts of interest. But isn't that what you want? You want more problems? You want to look at what's the incentive for my investment advisor as I give them more money because I'm making more money. Oh, look, I can take my family on a trip now that I was too scared to spend anything on. Or I would regret it later because now I'm paying my debt back. Now you can do it out of cash. Whoo, different lifestyle. Big changes. Big changes. All because people are making more money. This piece cannot be misunderstood when you're talking about a financial flywheel, right? When you take your foot off the gas and you want to coast a bit because you're going to focus on something else, this bigger pay is going to get you farther. It's going to be able to allow you to keep more money, to grow more money and protect yourself and protect your money. Now you can actually afford that life insurance policy you're looking for. Maybe it's a critical illness life insurance policy. Maybe you want to start your own business, but because now you have more RSPs, you have more cash savings, you can actually have that capital to start your business. Make sure whatever you do, if you're making a job change or starting a business, you talk to someone about setting yourself up financially beforehand. You need to refinance and get a big line of credit in beforehand. You need to make sure that you have more capital than you were expecting. Okay, if you're expecting that you're going to need 100 grand, have 200 grand plus a longer time frame to replace your salary. Maybe you won't need it, and I certainly hope you don't, that you're more successful than that, but just plan for it because nothing sucks about quitting. Nothing. This really sucks, but nothing is better. Like nothing is worse than quitting the day before you become successful. So if you don't set yourself up properly, giving you enough runway to be employed in a new job or starting your own business, you may have to quit one day and you never know because the next day you might have become successful. So give yourself the runway that you need to rock it. Anyways, make more money. Give us a shout. This is Retirement Secrets Make Money segment. Look forward to chatting with you. You can find us at tkdalewealth.com. Reach out to me. I'm at Trevor Dale Go on Instagram if you want to check it out there. and we will talk to you soon. Have a great day, my friends. Cheers.